This is a virtual visit to the exhibition by the Chinese artist Xiuzhen, and this exhibition has been happening in Shanghai at the Power Station of Art Museum. It was taking place from late last year to February 2025, and essentially this video tries to present key works out of this exhibition, how that looked, and some of the highlights. So this is the artist Xiuzhen, and this is the curator for the show, Wu. And what is interesting is that the website page for this exhibition also includes some sort of an opportunity to do on-site visit via its virtual reality window into the exhibition, and it is an insight into the website, and it seems to be it has some sort of a dynamic aspect, and also one can see in the snapshots from the show that many of the works are basically already historical, because some of these date to 2008, and these were basically made for the Shanghai Biennale in 2008, and they are very, very multidisciplinary, because these are essentially installations using multiple media or materials in order to create very striking installations. So these are basic installations, and these straddle recent decades, so that the dateline for these works, the timeline for these works, basically, it crosses the contemporary history of China, and if one thinks about let's say other countries or the West in general, then one can say that not much has happened, or maybe not on the same scale as it did in China in recent decades. And it seems that the works from these years are acting as a virtual history also of the cultural aspect of what this country has been going through. And from the exhibition, this installation on the ceiling is basically so close that visitors to another show have actually been donating to this installation, which is done as a sort of a canopy in the main atrium of the museum, and we see the construction of a spy. Basically, this is one part of the exhibition which is very, very rooted in the imaginary of the Chinese culture, and it seems there is a lot of interrelationships in between the sky and earth. So that the spire does some sort of it is a mythical work of art, so that the artwork itself engages with both the symbolic cultural aspect of the space, or of the cultural references, and also in terms of the technical layer of the work itself, of the cycle works, and as far as my point of view goes, there is a lot of referencing, in my view, of the cargo culture, so that some of the works actually recreate artifacts from the Western material civilization, and we see the that this artist, Xiuzhen, is actually playfully recreating some of the very top level works of technology that essentially her country has been adopting and actually appropriating, given that essentially this country is seeking to take leading positions in many spheres of economy, locally and internationally, and that it is making very rapid progress. So that one might also need to rethink the whole notion of the cargo cult, what it might mean in terms of what that might mean in cultures which do actually very successfully adopt those, how shall I put it, artifacts of the Western and maybe international industry, international economic instruments, since one can think of, let's say, an airplane or a car, maybe on one hand as products, but they also can serve as instruments, such as maybe for, let's say, Uber drivers, maybe for somebody else doing his or her daily work. Or doing their job, so that, or if one can think of the airline industry, so that for them, these items are basically what allows those industries to operate. And I think that and one can also extend the point to the art world itself, in which one can say that both the works of art are the infrastructure of the art world in this other country, and then on top of that comes the discourse, what essentially a curator says, what an art historian says about both a period and a specific artist in that period. And I think this exhibition gives a sense of that intertwining of what essentially the artist does on one hand, and what the outcome of that is on the level of the show, which both showcases a very modern premises, a museum of modern art in Shanghai, and what this artist does in that space.